All right, hello everyone, this is Mr. Crozier. I'm going to give you some help for notes, page 95 in the book. Examples 3, 4, and 5 we're going to do. All right, problem number 3, and if you have your book, you want to make sure you follow along here, read the problem. I'm going to read it and work it out on paper, but follow along in the book on page 95. On example 3, it says, in Pennsylvania, the state income tax is directly proportional to gross income. Once we read that sentence, we can write this equation. Direct variation is y is equal to kx, and this says the tax is directly proportional to the gross income. So this is the equation we have. Now they give us some data. They said we have an input of gross data. This is our income, and you pay tax on that. T, and they tell us that if your gross income is $1,500, your tax is $4,605. So then the question becomes, well, what's this K value? Well, this K value is the tax rate. T stands for tax, G stands for gross income, but what's the K value? Well, let's figure it out. Let's draw a line down the middle. Let's put our tax over here. K we don't know yet, but the gross income we do know is $1,500. So we can solve that equation by just dividing over the 1,500. 4,605 divided by 1,500. The K value is equal to 0.0307. And that's the tax rate. K is a rate if you want to think of it that way. So the answer to this problem is y is equal to 0.0307. X, or better yet, let's use these letters up here. The tax that you're going to pay is equal to 0.0307 times the income that you make, your gross income. So there you have it. Now, why do we have this equation? Because now we can answer some questions. Let's say my income was $2,000. Well, I have more income, so I'm going to pay more tax. And then I just use this equation. 0.0307 times 2,000, and it's $61.40. Or we can work the other way. What if I know that I paid $50 in tax? How much income did I make? Well, that's just, we're going to take this equation, we're going to put a 50 for the tax. And now let's just divide that back. 50 divided by 0.0307. I made $1,628.66. So that's the whole idea of this lesson. Write equations, and then you can take inputs to outputs, or outputs to inputs. Problem 4 in the book says the distance a ball rolls down a hill is directly proportional. So we still have this idea here. Direct variation is directly proportional. They use this word in the book. It means the same thing. It means your multiplication problem. So it says the distance a ball rolls down the hill is directly proportional to the square of time. Now, you've got to be careful on this one. It is directly proportional. It is a multiplication problem, but time is squared. And then they tell us this information. Time is the x value, y is the output. At 1 second, the distance is 8. So let's find the equation. Distance is 8. Time is 1 squared. That's 1 divided over k is equal to 8. Here's part A. I have the equation. The distance is equal to 8 times time squared. There's my equation. I figured out what k is. Now the question on part B says, well, what if time is equal to 3? Well, if time is equal to 3, I have 8 times 3 squared. 8 times 9 is 72, and the units are feet in this problem. So there we have another problem. We've taken an equation, And we've said at this input, if the input is 3, the output is 72. All right, and the last example, problem number 5. On problem number 5, it says inverse variation. An inverse variation is not multiplication, but a division problem. And it says, on number 5, it says the demand for a product varies inversely with the price of a product. Now you could write it that way, or maybe you want to multiply the price over there and bring the demand down here. Either one, same equation, but they give us this piece of information. They say in terms of price and demand, if the price is $6.25, the demand is $400. So I'm going to use this equation over here. Let's use this one. The demand is $400. The K value I don't know, but the price I do know is $6.25. K is equal to 6.25 times 4,000, 2,500. And now I have a great equation. The demand is 2,500 divided by the price. So the question they ask is, well, what if the price is $5.75, right? What happens when the price is equal to that? So I come over here and I say $5.75, and what do you think's going to happen? If they lower the price of something, the demand is going to go up. So I'm just going to put this in there and type that in there. Let's see, 2,500 divided by 5.75. 434. Let's write it right there. 435 units. Found an equation. I took this input to that output. Now, if you would have done this equation, you would have got the same answer. Would have been the same. All right. I hope this helps with your notes.